Golden Gwyneth. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. If you have not watched my H.G. Roast series, I really have to ask what's wrong with you. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, as the nights draw in, the leaves turn and start to fall from the trees, that there's a sudden chill in the air, and no, it's not because I've walked past you. You may well want to get a little bit closer to a roasting, so that some of the heat that is directed at these entirely merited roastings warms you up a little. Certainly, the entertainment that you'll gain from hearing your glorious narrator taking these individuals to righteous tasking is entirely appropriate. Gwyneth Paltrow was one of the individuals that found herself on the receiving end of a roasting as a consequence of her narcissism and the whole shithousery that she engages in. And it would be remiss of me not to utilise a further opportunity to dissect her behaviours to help you understand more about her narcissism and narcissism generally, with an article from Fox News by Janelle Ash. Gwyneth Paltrow poses nude and painted in gold for her 50th birthday. Aging is actually a beautiful thing. Gwyneth Paltrow addressed the milestone birthday in a personal essay written for her lifestyle blog Goop. Now, first of all, this exhibits poor boundary recognition and a sense of entitlement, because, guess what? Millions upon millions of people have been 50 before. Millions upon millions of people, indeed billions, will be 50 in the future. However, Gwyneth Paltrow, of course, being a legend in her own mind, believes that only her coming of age of hitting 50 is something that really merits everybody knowing about, that her experiences, her musings on being 50, are something that everybody should have regard to. It demonstrates the self-absorbed manner by which she conducts herself, and, of course, by painting herself in gold, she's drawing attention to herself for the purposes of asserting control over readership and viewership and drawing fuel from them in their reactions. She has to cause a scene. Everybody else has a few mates who say, "Should we go down the Dog and Duck and get arseholed on Friday for your 50th? Sounds good for me." Or for other people, it's a case of, well, we'll organise something in the function room at the local conservative club, and we'll arrange a buffet to be set out for you, and we'll invite friends and family and have a good old knees up and listen to some of the music that you enjoy. Yes, party time indeed. That's how conventionally it might be done. In some instances, it might be the case that people go out for a meal or perhaps even go on a weekend away somewhere to celebrate this milestone. But that's for the ordinary people, the little people. Gwyneth Paltrow has to do more. She has to be more. Her narcissism demands it. So, as Al Pacino might say, what do you got? Let's have a look at what Fox News have in relation to this monumental occasion of Gwyneth Paltrow hitting 50 and deciding that she ought to have been in the film Goldfinger. Gwyneth Paltrow is leaving little to the imagination, posing nude and painted in gold for her 50th birthday. Showmanship, self-absorption. The Goop founder sported her birthday suit covered in metallic gold powder as she celebrated her milestone birthday on Tuesday. Well, if you want to do that, Gwyneth, you could do it at home, but you don't have to tell the world, except you do, because your narcissism demands that you do so. All I know is that they're painting me gold and that I have to be naked, Paltrow said on the set of the photo shoot per Goop's website. Ah, yes, of course, an everyday occurrence whereby you just accept that somebody tells you that's the way. No, what you mean is you've told them precisely how it should be, but you're now feigning that you don't understand. False humility. I feel so good turning 50, and this is about expressing that sense of energy and optimism that I'm experiencing, she added. It's more about the female gaze, and just a sense of fun. Well, good for you that you feel good about turning 50, and she looks jolly well on it, one has to say. Paltrow detailed to Goop that her glam team used products from her own line. Of course, let's get a bit of merching in there whilst you can. That's all important and necessary for that to be detailed. which allowed celebrity makeup artist Lottie to turn her into a golden goddess. Grandiosity, delusion. I think aging is actually a beautiful thing. We just need to open our perceptions, she said of the shoot. As you become more yourself, well, how can you not be anybody else but yourself? You've always been yourself. Anyway, in integrity, your life really opens up. Word salad. Last week, Paltrow took to Instagram, use of social media as a medium for the prime aims, to share an unfiltered, black and white, bikini photo of herself leaping into the air. Fascinating. She captioned the post, "Musings on a Milestone." Paltrow linked to a Goop post titled "On Approaching 50", in which she explained how she has come to accept her aging body. Must be an absolute shitter for you, Gwyneth, having to accept a body like that at 50. I dare say there are many people looking at that and would go, well, yeah, good for you, you're in fine shape, absolutely. And there are many other people who are around that age and older who've kept their bods in perfect nick, but they don't have to show off like she does. On Sunday, she spoke about approaching 50 and about her oldest child, Apple, 18, heading off to college in an interview with CBS Sunday Morning. She compared the experience of her daughter leaving the nest to childbirth. I know this sounds nuts. You're not going to be wrong there, Gwynnie, but it feels almost as profound as giving birth, she said. This again demonstrates the way that she sees herself as a pioneer, like no other woman in the history of ever has ever given birth. The Goop founder did not share any details on what school her daughter will be attending or what she plans to study. Paltrow discussed her co-parenting relationship with ex-husband and Coldplay crooner Chris Martin, with whom she shares Apple and son Moses, 16. After divorcing in 2016, she said she is proud to have figured it out. Go, Gwyneth. Tell everybody that you've figured it out. He's completely my family. Ownership, objectification, and I love him. I think you do. He would do anything for me. I would do anything for him, she said of Martin. False compassion. We would do anything for our kids, other than stay together. We really did commit to wanting our children as unscathed by the divorce. I thought it was a conscious uncoupling as possible. When Paltrow was asked about what she thought she would be doing at 50, a decade or two ago, she responded, I don't think I thought about it. I thought, 50 is like you're dead at that point. Well, you're not. There'd be some who say, perhaps it would be better if you were, so we wouldn't have to buy candles that smell of your vag. But nevertheless, you're here at 50, Gwyneth. You're not dead. In her personal essay, penned for Goop, Paltrow shared that although she does her best to strive for good health by sticking stones up her fanny and a long life, she accepts the changes her body experiences over time. You don't have much choice in the matter, my dear. On September the 27th, I'll turn 50. As I sit here contemplating this idea in the late summer morning, no moisture in the air, breeze moving only the tops of the trees, I strangely have no sense of time past, she wrote. Pretentious twaddle. There is something about the sweetness of life that exists deep within me that is unchanged. I dare say if you've been using some of your own products, there's something else that exists deep within you. It is the essence of the essence. The fuck? It seems to be getting sweeter. Paltrow added, my body, a map of the evidence of all the days, is less timeless. A collection of marks and irregularities that dog-ear the chapters, scarred from oven burns, a finger smashed in a window long ago, the birth of a child, silver hair and fine lines. I accept the marks and the loosening skin, the wrinkles. I accept my body and let go of the need to be perfect, look perfect, defy gravity, defy logic, defy humanity. I accept my humanity. Of course, she says all of this while pumping out pictures of her leaping through the air, defying gravity, even if only for a moment, and of course, appearing as an extra from Goldfinger, clearly delighted at how good she looks for her age. Paltrow then detailed what she plans to do with the next chapter of her life. Notice, not the next stage, not just the next few years, but chapter. This pretension that these individuals, a la Harry's wife, have to talk about pages and chapters in the book of my life. I would like to slow down. I would like to retreat a little bit. I would like to make my circle smaller. I would like to cook dinner more. I would like to see misunderstandings become understandings. How fucking profound. I would like to continue to open the deepest part of myself to my husband, for now, even though it scares me, she wrote. Paltrow wed her husband, director Brad Falchuk, in 2018. The pair released an episode of the Goop podcast Tuesday. Well, no doubt your sides are aching from all of the nonsense that you have been exposed to in listening to that. But let's see what people think about below the line. Tom, 987846, happy birthday, now please go away. Rocking Chair 109, paint her whatever colour you like, but get her a cane. She's still an old horse, ridden hard and put away wet. 8 Barrel 370, certified whack job. Godorgs 1972. I'm sure she can find a straight liberal man that would still do her. Baba Toothpaste. Hashtag doing what all 50-year-old sex addicts do. King Cat. Aging is a curse anyway. You look at it as your body turns to mush and the ailments start to multiply. Nobody escapes the ravages of time. UVW. Is there anything a celebrity will not do in order to get their picture on the media? Gunny's Gunny. This reminds me, I made paella over the weekend and was disappointed in the quality of the live clams I purchased at the local H-E-B. Not naive. Sounds like someone is realizing she's getting older and wants to reassure herself that she still looks good. She wasn't all that beautiful when she was young. Shaking my head 530. On my 50th, I went to a baseball game with my son. But before we went, we were each painted gold and hung signs that said, "Look at us." America is great 540. How's that candle with the special scented odour? N Vegas. What I would like to see is an itemised and total list of every professional of every type whose services she used. I'd like to know the cost of each unnatural procedure done to make her look like an unnatural 50-year-old. Why do these celebrities strut the work of their plastic surgeons, dietitians, beauticians, etc., as if that didn't take a whole team of experts to snip, slurp, cut, dye, and pad their phony bodies into beautiful mannequins? For the most part, both can look as young as she or he can afford. SLJ761. What people will do to attempt to remain in the public arena. Safian. Sorry, love, it's been done before. Regards, James Bond. Dances with Wolverines. I don't have Paltrow's money. When I turned 50 a few months back, I had to settle for painting myself silver and streaking through the neighbourhood. Philip Oliver Holtz 266. I express my female empowerment by paradoxically propagating the negative stereotype that a woman's only true worth lies in her physical attractiveness to men. That's all I hear her saying. TB322. I've always thought she was overrated, both as an actress and her looks. Well, not a lot of love for Paltrow in the comments, it has to be said, and they carry on in a similar vein. And whilst people aren't necessarily realising that there's a narcissist at work, they do see her vanity, her showcasing, her self-absorption. And of course, this word salad that she's pumped out is all part of the consistent way that Gwyneth Paltrow talks utter unadulterated shite in an attempt to ensure that she remains relevant, that she asserts control over people by saying, "Look at me, don't I look fantastic for my age?" whilst pretending that actually, oh, look at all of the marks and nicks and all the rest of it upon me, whilst drawing fuel and, of course, the residual benefit of facade management. I'm not fooled, of course. I see straight through her, and you, as a consequence of being dedicated watchers of my work, are not fooled either. Gwyneth Paltrow, narcissist, in action once again. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.